Hey guys, it's story time again, and today I'm going to read you another story from the Spider-Man collection by Marvel, and this one will be Spider-Man Halloween Stampede. Looks like he's going to face off against Rhino and possibly Green Goblin. Well, that might be a little presumptuous. Rhino's holding a person in a costume. Alright, here we go. Peter loved watching the Halloween parade every year, especially since, as Spider Man, he always had the best seat in the house. He really got a kick out of seeing how many people tried to imitate their friendly neighborhood superhero. One year, the Grand Marshal of the parade was Arthur Van Buren, the billionaire tech whiz whose latest invention was a phone that worked underwater. Spider Man saw him at the front of the parade wearing his costume, a fish holding a phone in its fin. I wonder if it's called an iPhone, said Spidey, chuckling as he continued to scan the crowd. Behind the Grand Marshal were several varieties of princesses, monsters, and even what looked like an entire army of costumed zoo animals. He counted a dozen gorillas, a few grizzly bears, and even one very realistic rhinoceros. Almost too realistic, Spidey thought. He didn't have a good feeling about it, and that's when his Spidey sense started tingling. And here's our parade. Martin Van Buren at the front. You see the rhino? Doesn't look like a costume to me, does it, you? Just then, the person in the rhinoceros costume broke away from the other animals and charged towards the front of the parade. Spider-Man was surprised that anyone could run so quickly in such a heavy costume. Whoever it was looked like he or she was heading straight for Arthur Van Buren. Oh, my bad. Finally, Spidey put it all together. That's not a rhinoceros costume, it's Rhino! Spidey yelled before swinging down into the parade and blasting some webbing into the supervillain's eyes. What a surprise. I didn't know you were a big fan of Halloween, Hornhead. Rhino was blinded, but he kept charging straight into a fire hydrant. Oh, great. It's Spider-Bug, he grumbled, rubbing the top of his large head. Spidey turned on top of a streetlight above Rhino. Now, what could you possibly be up to? Is it tricks or is it treats? Here we are, Rhino running away from Spider-Man with webbing in his face. See how he ran over the fire hydrant, spewing water everywhere? I'm busy, Webhead, Rhino snarled, grabbing the spout of the fire hydrant. But since you asked, how's this for a nice trick? Rhino ripped the fire hydrant open. Powerful jets of water shot into the parade. The crowd started to panic. Even Spidey got caught in the watery geyser. Hope you brought your swimsuit, Rhino said with a sneer. Now where's that rich kid? I have a ransom to collect. He turned and ran into the chaos at the front of the parade, leaving Spider-Man to take care of the watery mess. Why does he always have to be such a party pooper? Spidey groaned, looking around for a way to plug the fire hydrant. His eyes landed on the parade banners. That's it. All Spider-Man had to do was find a way to secure his banner over the top of the hydrant. He flipped a strand of web at one corner of the tarp, then swung himself through the air. Geronimo! There we are, with Rhino laughing as Spider-Man's caught in the water from the hydrant. Spider-Man flicked 3 more strands of webbing into each of the remaining corners. Then, using the tarp as a parachute, he floated down over the geyser. When he landed, he tightened the tarp over the hydrant, tying a knot at the base. That should hold it until they can turn off the water, he said, looking around to make sure no one was hurt. Now, did I hear something about a ransom? And here we are, with Spider-Man coming down with the tarp. That's how he ran the fire hydrant to stop the water from spraying everywhere. Spider-Man saw Rhino at the front of the parade carrying a large fish over his shoulder. You're too late, Rhino growled. He turned and charged through the crowd with Arthur Van Buren trapped in his grasp. Spidey needed to act fast. He had the perfect idea. Flicking a web at the street sign on the corner, Spider-Man swung ahead of Rhino. Then he quickly created a thin stretch of webbing between two light poles. I hope that fish costume has a lot of padding. Rhino saw Spidey's tripwire, but it was too late. Whoa! Rhino cried, and the gray Goliath ran into Spidey's trap and went sprawling into the street, sending Arthur Van Buren flying through the air. The tech mogul landed in the middle of a small fountain in the park. "Are you okay?" Spidey called. "Don't worry, Spidey. My phone is waterproof," said Martin Van Buren, waving his fin. And there we are. Rhino tripped over the wire. Martin, or whatever his name down here in the fountain. Spider-Man coming in to finish restraining him so he can be arrested. "You'll be sorry you did that, Bug Brain." "Bug Brain? Is that the best you can do?" By that time, the people in the parade had started to gather around him, so Spidey decided to have some fun. Rhino rushed towards the superhero, but this time, the wall crawler was ready. Wrong way, buddy. I'm over here." Rhino looked up to see Spider-Man to his right. "Now I'm over here." Rhino spotted another Spider-Man, but it was to his left. "Over here." Every time Rhino started to charge, he saw another Spider-Man. Stop, you're making me dizzy," the villain cried. Just then, the real Spider-Man swooped in from above, knocking Rhino directly in the chin, and he teetered for a moment before falling squarely on his face. And here we are, Spider-Man coming in with the final blow to knock him out, so he can go to jail. A few minutes later, Arthur Van Buren was leading the parade again. Right behind him, a group of people in different superhero costumes escorted a large float. On the float, a handcuffed Rhino, surrounded by police, scowled and grumbled. High above, back on his perch on a tall building, Spider-Man couldn't help smiling. Best Halloween parade ever. Here we are, with the Rhino sitting on a float, surrounded by police, and it looks like people in the Avengers costumes leading the way, right behind, Arthur Van Buren. And that's the end of the story for the night, or for this story. Hope you enjoyed it. Be good, always be kind, and I'll see you next time.